And now I would request Dr. Veena Easvaradoss, the former head HOD of Women's Christian College, head of the department psychology, very eminent psychologist. I had the privilege of doing my doctorate under her, and to talk about the tools, the measuring tools used in the DST project, and whatever other things that you would like to say. Over to Dr. Veena Easvaradoss, a co-investigator of this project.
Yes, good evening to all, and thank you for this opportunity to be part of this anniversary program and this section of the DST project orientation. So I was extremely proud to be part of the DST project of Emmanuel Chess Center. And since it was a lot of emphasis on psychology in terms of what was being measured, so what did chess have an impact on? We were measuring whether it had an impact on the cognitive development. The word cognitive refers to our thinking abilities. So it could mean intelligence, it could mean memory, it could be reasoning, creativity, and so on and so forth. So what aspect to measure when that question arose? Two cognitive functions form the focus of the project. To study the impact of chess on, firstly, the intelligence of whoever was playing chess, to see whether intelligence improved. And the second aspect was to see whether the person became more creative. That is, they were able to think up, they had new ways of thinking, they were able to think in original ways, in no different ways compared to other people, and so on. So for this purpose, we had to see what psychological tests could be utilized. So after looking for across various tests, psychological tests for intelligence and creativity, two tests were for intelligence and one test for creativity was finalized. The two tests for intelligence were called, firstly, the Wechsler Intelligence Scale for Children, India edition. The second test was called the Binet-Kamath test of intelligence. So there were two tests for intelligence. Now, as some of you may know, intelligence is a composite ability. It is made up of many things. It is made up of the ability to understand, to comprehend verbal material like words, to comprehend things which are in form of numbers like in maths, to understand pictorial aspects, patterns. So in chess, there are a lot of patterns that you have to look at, understand, and quickly grasp. So that is also part of intelligence. Memory, when you play, you have to remember so many things, whatever you learned, how other people have played also, which you have learned. So memory is a part of intelligence. The ability to use language is also part of intelligence. How to process information. When you look at anything, for example, like a chessboard, you need to quickly identify and process what is there. How quickly you can work, speed of working is also an aspect of intelligence. So there are so many aspects of intelligence. That's why there were two tests to measure intelligence. So the test gave an IQ, intelligence quotient, and they also helped us to understand all of these other functions that I have been talking about. Each test took about roughly, each test would take about 45 minutes to 1 hour. And so intelligence assessment normally took about 2 hours by the time we sat down and talked to the children or in the schools. It took about 2 hours for these tests. The second major aspect that was measured was creativity. Creativity is how uniquely we are able to think, how out of the box we are able to think. And this is a cognitive ability or a thinking ability that has been associated with playing chess. Because when you play chess, not only do you have to remember and think in the routine ways, but you also have to use creative thinking, original thinking, out of the box thinking. And you must get some new ideas so that you will be able to do well and play successfully. So chess has been known to impact or increase creativity. So that's why we selected this ability And it was measured using a test developed by Waller and Kogan, and it's called the Waller-Kogan creativity test. So this test measures two aspects of creativity: how creative the person is using words, and how creative the person is using non-words, that is symbols and designs. So there are many ways in which this is measured in the test. For example, the children were asked questions like, can you think of all the things that are round? Or they were asked to say things like, in what all ways could you use a knife? So not only to cut, but you could use a knife in various ways. Okay? So they had to come out with answers to these sorts of questions. Also, they had to look at some designs and say whatever they thought it looked like. Sometimes when we look at a cloud, we will say it looks like a bear, or it looks like a tree. So something similar to that. You have to come up with your own ideas. So these were the two tests that were used. And quite often children like these tests because they involve things like making designs out of blocks. It involves things like choosing which picture goes with another set of pictures. Even the tests were quite interesting. So it was a real pleasure to administer and do these tests. And these tests were used to assess or measure how chess learning influenced the intelligence and the creativity of the children. So that's it from me. Thank you for this time. I'm done.
Thank you.